Here's a question I ask clients that I work with. Have you ever thought about what happens if one day you need help with the basics, getting dressed, bathing, managing your medications? Most people haven't, and that's a gap in planning that can cost a family hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hi, I'm Ken Jones, Certified Financial Planner with the Legacy Advisor Group, and today I want to talk a little bit to you about long-term care, what it is, why it matters, and how to make sure it doesn't derail everything you've worked so hard to build. So here's the number I want you to remember, 70. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, 7 in 10 Americans turning 65 today will need some form of long-term care at some point in their lives. This isn't the worst case scenario, it's the most likely outcome. And the costs are significant and they're rising fast. According to Genworth Financial's 2025 Cost of Care Survey, the national median cost of a private room in a nursing home is now $129,575 per year. Assisted living averaged about $74,400 in 2025, and that's a 5% jump in just 1 year. Even in-home care with a home health aide is topping out at over $80,000 annually. That's not a small line item. And for many families, a 2 to 3 year cost need will consume their entire life savings. Now here's where I see the biggest misconception. People assume Medicare will cover it, but it won't. Not for long-term custodial care. Medicare covers short-term skilled nursing after a hospitalization, but it doesn't pay for ongoing help with daily activities. And Medicaid only kicks in after you've essentially spent down your assets, and that means the burden falls directly on you or your family. Despite all of this, only a small percentage of Americans over 50 hold a long-term care policy. And that tells me that people are either unaware of the risks or they're hoping that it won't happen to them. And hope is not a strategy. So, what can you do? Or better yet, what's your plan? The good news is there are more options today than ever. Traditional long-term care insurance is still out there and is one avenue. And the earlier you secure it, the more affordable the premiums are. In your 50s, these premiums can be fairly inexpensive. Wait until your 60s though, and they can double or even more. Plus you have health changes that may limit your options entirely at that point. The other option is hybrid life insurance policies. They've become increasingly popular, and these combine a death benefit with long-term care coverage. So your premium dollars are never wasted. You can either get the premiums refunded later on, or if you don't need the care, your beneficiaries receive a benefit instead. And for some clients, a dedicated self-funding strategy, which means just setting aside a pool of funds specified and earmarked for your long-term care needs, can make the most sense. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. The right strategy just depends on your family, your situation, your health, and your overall financial plan. So that's some of the basics of long-term care planning, and it's not about fear, it's about protecting your independence, preserving your assets, and making sure, most importantly, that your family never has to make impossible choices under pressure. If you haven't reviewed this part of your financial plan, we at the Legacy Advisor Group would love to sit down and have a conversation with you. Whether you're an existing client or just getting started with planning, please feel free to reach out. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with friends and family who could use it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.